Welcome to Real Estate with Real Faces, where homes meet hometown heroes. We're your trio behind the transaction. I'm Claire Springer, a realtor.
I'm Ashley Four, a lender.
And I'm Lindsay Michael, a title rep, bringing you real conversations with real people in our community.
From local business owners to everyday neighbors, we're spotlighting the faces behind the places and the stories behind the sold signs.
So grab your coffee, pull up a chair, and let's talk life, business, and all things real estate with a personal twist. Welcome back to Real Estate with Real Faces. Today we have a special guest. This is Kyle Edwards.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking about a football camp. So go ahead and give us some background on how did you get involved and explain to us what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the Director of Operations currently for Game Day Youth Camps. We are a premier youth camp league in the entire country that we basically help NFL players, NFL teams, some NCAA Division I teams and players run youth football camps. So it's a very big passion and joy of mine for sure. And then starting in July, I will then become active president. So very excited. Appreciate it.
Love that.
Yeah, our CEO, he's kind of taking a little step back into a silent partner, and I'm going to kind of run the show there.
Nice. Awesome. So how did you get involved and get into this? Find out about it.
Absolutely. So that's a funny story. Besides the last couple of years, I took a break from it. I've been a high school football and track coach. I've coached. I went to Mishawaka High School. I coached there. I've also went back and forth between them and Riley High School, where I had a lot of family members. And I just ended up. We have this thing called Sports U in the coaching world per se, to where every single high school coach. It's almost like a Twitter, so it's like a communication app where you can post updates or post questions.
I know that.
Exactly. So they just one of the other ops guys, he coaches down in Evansville, so all the way down at the bottom of the state, and he just put a post saying, "Hey, Game Day Youth Camps is looking for a director of operations. Apply, free travel, work with NFL people, things like that." And I was like, why not? And so I just put the application in, had a couple of virtual interviews. The first camp I helped at was the Indianapolis Colts Youth Camp a couple years ago. Did a good job because apparently I got the job. So.
That's awesome. So when you do this, what is expected of the kids and what kind of age range is it?
Sure. Yeah, so it is age between 6 and 16 years old. So, very broad range. And when it comes to my job as the ops guy, I'm more so just all the optics. So I staff the camp. I find the location if we don't have it already. I, do all the day-to-day kind of keeping updates and running the camp while we're there, making sure we're on time, making sure we're doing the giveaways, make sure that whatever NFL player is there, making sure he's getting to every station, just all those little things that add up to, running the job.
It's a very, as someone who's been with you at one of them, it is a very well-oiled machine.
Yes.
Like, to see you running all around, doing all the things, like, you have a system down, and it's very impressive to see that, like, I was able to volunteer and walk in as a volunteer, and you're like, hey, this is what you're doing, this is what I expect, and I was like, cool, and I can just run with it, and you were like, yep, and I was able to run a little agility section of it, and it was so much fun. And the kids are awesome.
Oh, they're so
so cool.
How many kids are usually at the camp?
Yeah, so it really varies. I would say the smallest camp I did last year was the Jerry Judy camp in Cleveland. That one had about 65 kids,
small.
That's for sure the smallest. And then our biggest camp last year, which we have again coming up, was the Caleb Downs and Cardinal Tate Youth Camp at Ohio State. They're both going to be top 10 draft picks this year, and that one had 270. Yes,
wow.
yes. So and that was at a local high school, private high school in Cleveland.
Oh my gosh.
In Columbus, and this year we're actually going to be in the Ohio State Stadium, and we're expecting 350 plus.
Yeah,
so
yes.
I feel like you would need to have a larger venue for
100%. Yes.
So how long is the camp?
Again, also varies. Usually they're about 3 hours. You usually have about an hour of check-in, an hour of meet and greet, where they're coming up, getting autographs, meeting the player, and then the actual camp usually runs about 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay.
Is it only for one day, or is it a week long?
It's usually most of the time 1 day. We do have a couple that are usually 2 days. Those are kind of broken down into 1 day is the actual youth camp. The other day would be something specific like a quarterback camp. It's where it's all quarterbacks, all like gunslinger type of things. And so
more in tune with something.
Exactly, yeah. So we have those variations, but most 95% of the time it's just 1 day camp.
Okay, very nice.
It was so cool. Like, it was
Yeah.
so cool. Like,
Cool. Like I
It
want to
was.
volunteer.
Yeah.
you should, honestly, because it was really cool. And like, so he had me start off at the registration table, and I was helping check in MVPs and like getting them their swag, getting them all their stuff, and then directing them to their autograph session with the guys. And like, I knew people that were checking in. Like, there were people from our area, and
yeah.
they were like,
I believe
Lindsay,
it.
and I was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I literally cannot go anywhere without someone being like, hey.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because we got to talking about it, and they're like, how did you even get involved? And then I was like, actually. But he had more questions about the person that was running it, and the fact that this dad thought that it was so cool
Yeah.
that a local person from his area was the one
Yeah.
all the way
Yeah.
at Indianapolis at the Colts practice facility, like actually running it. So it was cool. It made it really special for that kid too.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet.
Absolutely.
When you're planning for the camps, I'm assuming because there's more than one day, right? How many days are you planning for?
Yeah, last year we had about 25 camps.
Okay.
This year, because we are going to be going into the transition period of me taking over,
Yeah.
we're kind of going to stick it to like the 4 or 5 we have now.
Okay.
But I mean, to be honest with you, our company, and I'd say our company, but again, I've only been involved a few years, but soon it's going to be, I guess, technically my company.
It's still-
We've been around for about 10, 15 years about, and so we are actually the third largest camp company in the country.
Wow.
So, you know, we're kind of to the point where NFL agents and players, they're kind of reaching out to us to run
Wow.
camps, you
Yeah.
know? And so, so it's like, we're kind of past the point of trying to, let's go try to get all these camps.
Yeah.
We're kind of
Yeah.
just sitting back and like, we want you. We don't
Right.
want you. We'll take you, but at this
Yeah.
price,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
things like that. So,
You get to be more selective now.
very selective, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, we're only going to do about 5 this year, but then in the upcoming winter, we have the 3 team camps we did last year, which were the Colts, the Falcons, and the Cardinals. And then we also are setting up one with the Commanders. So once the winter, you know, we get to the summer, this transition period,
Yeah.
once those start, it's going
It's-
to ramp back up.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be back to 20,
So that was my
25.
next question. How long does it take for you to plan a camp?
I mean, I can realistically probably get everything done within a month, I would
Okay.
say about. Now, the issue with that is
Yeah,
we obviously
right.
have to do our marketing. You
Yeah.
know, like, you know, we
need more time to
We need more
market it,
time
yeah.
for the marketing. So actually putting the camp together, again, staffing it, and we have such a large list of previous coaches
Yeah.
that have
Right.
been involved before. That doesn't take too long, but it's more so just we have to have at least, 3-4 months to get the marketing out and get people
Get
registered.
some buzz about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I used to be a volleyball coach for multiple years, and it's kind of the same thing. Like once you do it, playing volleyball, coaching volleyball, and then running. I did camps too. Like doing that kind of thing for volleyball, you don't really need too much thought into planning
Yeah.
what your
Yeah.
activities and such are because
Repetition.
you've
Point,
already
yeah.
you've already done it. It's more of like, all right, we need to start marketing to put it out
Yeah.
for who's going to join, and do we have enough staff, and what is our limit on it? So
Which I will
just sound like
say-
a director of ops.
Yeah. Yeah. It was nice to see though, because when we had the Indianapolis camp, the weather was horrible.
Yeah.
It,
Oh,
wa-
yeah.
it was so bad, and I think you had 2 or 3 coaches that couldn't drive in because it was. But it took like 2 phone calls, and we had random people
Yes.
from like and they were like, "Hey, we're here to help," and it was just really cool to see that you had like a pool of people, volunteers, coaches willing to like at the drop of a hat be like, "Oh, hey, here,
Absolutely.
let me spend my entire day." When I didn't
With
plan,
kids.
when I
Yeah.
didn't plan on
Yeah.
it, in some of the worst weather that we had seen in a really long time. At
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, because the ones that canceled, we had one that got in an accident
Yeah.
on the way there.
Oh,
they were
gosh.
coming from
Yeah.
here, South Bend, got in an accident about 45 minutes in, and said, "Hey, we
Yeah.
have to turn around."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I understand," you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, but like you said, luckily we had people that again had helped in the past, and they love our company, they love what we're doing, and so
Yeah.
they were able to, like you said,
when
drop
do
in on
the
the dime.
camps take place?
So most of the time, they're pretty much throughout the entire year, except for the fall, because obviously all the
Well,
players
yeah,
are
yeah.
in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have most of our team camps are usually going to be in the winter, and those camps also come with 2 free tickets to a game for the registrants.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And so it's a really, and we obviously.
At wherever they're having their camp. I'm
Correct.
assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So like for an example, when we did the Colts camp, all the players they ended up getting 2 tickets to the Jags game,
Yeah.
and it was about 2 weeks later. A lot of the time we'll do it on like a Saturday or Sunday where the team has an away game. So then that way we can use their facilities, things like that. And then the game that they get the ticket to is usually going to be about
The
1 or 2
following
weeks.
home game.
Yeah, the following home
That
game,
makes sense.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So very exciting.
How
super
many
cool.
of the like NFL players actually come and because you said some of them do show up? How many?
Oh yeah,
That's like part of the contract.
That's part of the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're,
okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're,
they
they're
will be there.
contractual.
So like every single one of them,
Yes.
or like majority.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
Certain players, like obviously, it's not going to be like the entire first
well, yeah.
string like is going, but it's
Yeah.
going to be particular players that maybe are on athletic leave or they're not part of that game that week. Like it would be their off week if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Correct.
we
Very
had
cool.
3 at the Colts.
Yeah, we were supposed to have 3. I think we only had the 2.
2,
Yeah.
right.
Yep. We
Yeah.
had Hunter Wohler and
Yes.
Justin Wally. Yes, they were
He was
2.
cool.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
really cool.
they were really
Yeah,
cool.
They were, and it's funny too because we're kind of I'm kind of to the point of this age where I'm 28 now and.
I'm at the point of my
yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay. Bye. We're leaving now.
I'm saying
Youngest
that.
person at the
Yeah.
table.
Because I will be 41.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you're literally the youngest person at the table.
Yes.
playing Yahtzee
But I get-
over here.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. But I say that to say that like I'm now older than a lot of these NFL players.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
I know.
That's
like-
weird.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
think
so,
about that.
It is weird.
So like for an example, I tell this story all the time. When we did the Caleb Downs camp last year, he's gonna be a top 10
Yes.
draft pick this year. He's 21 years old.
Yeah.
Last year,
He's a baby.
Yeah,
a
and
baby.
he's a super baby. And we had no, seriously.
I literally just imagined
Like Captain Number.
Yes, literally.
Yeah. But he's gonna be making multi-millions here in like 6 months.
Yeah.
But he is. We have a really good relationship with our company, with his family. His dad was in the NFL.
Yeah.
We also run his brother's camp, Josh Downs, who plays
Yeah,
for the Colts.
I would say.
So we have a really good relationship with their family. At that camp last year, we went to dinner with his family, and it's so funny. So they sit down. He ends up, and it was during March Madness. So he puts the phone up, and he just watched, and his mom just goes, "Can you ever just stay off your phone?" And he just goes,
Such a
like,
normal
you know,
family.
such a normal
Yeah,
like
such
kid
a
thing
normal,
to do.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like, wow, like because I'm an Ohio State fan as well. So obviously it went from kind of like, wow, this is Caleb Downs to
Oh, this is Caleb.
this
This
is
fucking
child.
Caleb.
Yeah, like, whatever, But
Like,
no,
this
we,
is who the Colts influence. Yeah.
but he's really an awesome guy, and I just kind of I guess humanize these
Yeah.
type of players for me. So
Yeah. You get to peek behind the curtain almost.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
as like intimidating. Like, oh my gosh. Like,
No.
Correct.
And they were
Yeah.
so cool. Like I know I've met famous people multiple in every like facet almost, from like the nerdy doctors to like I don't know if it's because it was kids or if it was just a different atmosphere, but they were so like in tune and willing to face like talk to these kids. One thing that I noticed was, when you see adults talking to kids, they typically like they'll look down at them and they'll talk to them and they're like, oh, blah, blah. Every single time a kid walked up to, they got down to like their eye level and they were genuinely like speaking to these boys' souls, right? There was one girl there, FYI. Go her. She was rocking the pink cleats the entire time. And she
yeah.
killed it on the agility
Oh
station.
yeah.
But no, it was really nice to see them actually take the extra few moments to bend
to their
down
level.
and get to their level, because what they're saying to these kids it's super impactful for them. Like they're here for a reason and they're all super talented. Like there wasn't a single kid there where I was watching, I was like, he's not gonna play for school.
Yeah,
And
you
it's
know
like,
his parents got
yes,
him here.
like yes, so like
Yeah.
even the most like quirky of the kids, they were so wanting to be there, and it was really cool camaraderie to see across an age group of kids from 6 to 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
The kids that are at the camps, is it a first come first serve for like as in getting into the camp, or do they have to submit like a video of them playing and you're
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, okay.
no, we'll take anybody. We'll take any kids. No, it's a good question. We'll take anybody. I mean, they just have to register. Just register
Okay.
beforehand. We don't do like walk-ins per se.
Yeah.
Because obviously we set it up to where
But I meant like first come, like whereas in like, hey, we're already full.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
out
we
now.
will have correct. Yeah, we will have only a certain amount of registrants.
Yeah.
It's very rare that we'll get 2 max.
Okay.
And if we do get 2 max at a certain time frame, we might even add a little bit extra. But yeah, we will only have most of the time it's like 200 registrants. Because after that, we would love to have 400 or 500 kids.
Yeah.
But
That's hard to manage.
sometimes,
Manpower.
manpower
Yeah.
and just the facility space.
There's
You know?
space too. because
Yeah.
if you can only hold
It's also
so
a very
many-
Exactly, yeah.
because the age range is so wide. Again, this is like my educator brain.
Oh yeah.
How are you separating them off? Are you doing it by age? Are you doing it by ability? Because you may see a 6-year-old, excuse me, who has been to camps before or has background from their parent or whatever, and they may be closer to how
To
their
skill
ability
level.
is,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As a 8-9-year-olds, but then you may have a 6-year-old who. That is a true 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Like how
Absolutely.
do you
Yeah.
how do you separate them?
Correct. Yeah. So we do go by age.
Okay.
So it's broken down into 2 sides. You have the younger kid side and you have the older kid side.
Okay.
The younger kid side, and again, this is the whole cookie cutter how we've done it so many years. We kind of got into a science. Between 6 and 7 will be a red wristband. Between 7 and 8 will be a green wristband. Between 8 and 9, kind of that aspect up to about 12 years old. Now, if we're seeing something, because I have this happen sometimes, where there might be more so not 6-year-old to a 9-year-old, but sometimes we'll have maybe an 11-year-old that's pretty good
Yeah.
and
Right. So he's going
Right.
14.
so
15.
yeah, so he might move up to the other side,
Okay.
But
Yeah.
we don't specifically necessarily do that when we see a kid oh, you're really good, you should go over there. It's more so of the kids coming up to us and going, hey, can I go over there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reason,
They're noticing
yeah,
it
they're
themselves,
noticing,
right?
and the reason is because
Or
the
they're not
little
being
kids,
challenged.
yeah,
Right.
because they
Yeah.
want to be challenged,
Yeah.
and the little kid side is more general football. So
Okay. Basics.
one station's quarterback, one station's receiver, one station's this, one station's that. On the older kid side, they're actually broken down into their position.
Okay.
So the older kid side, they stay up. If they're quarterback the whole camp. If they're receiver,
okay.
the
Yeah.
receiver the
Sense.
whole camp.
Yeah.
And they're actually working with that type of coach.
Yeah.
The younger kid side, you don't necessarily, as a coach, you need to actually have a little football sense,
Yeah.
but you don't have to be this great receiver coach to
Yeah.
coach receivers on the little kid
Yeah.
side. You can throw a ball, have them catch the ball,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
so fun stuff.
Yeah.
But the older kid side, they're trying to
you
get
should-
better,
yeah.
Okay.
and so that's really the main difference.
So then, are you choosing the coaches? Are
Yeah.
they volunteered? Are they paid positions? Or are they just
yeah,
somebody said, "Hey, I want to be involved."
Yeah,
Okay, great. You're gonna
absolutely.
be
We'll
this
have you.
person.
Yeah. So we'll take anybody for anything. Okay. I mean, what I tell everyone is, if you have if you're just a football fan or you have some type of football sense, you can help in some
Perfect.
capacity.
I'll be there.
That was
yeah.
literally our
Yes,
conversation. We had coffee and he was telling me about this, and I was like, I like football a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, oh, you do? And then
I'm
we started
probably a
talking
little
about
too
football. He's like,
aggressive
you
when
actually
it comes
do
to
like
football.
football? And I was like,
Yeah.
I do. So can I please be a part of this?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, come on down. And I
Great.
did.
Yep.
And it
So
was-
we'll
it was
we'll be
awesome.
at the next one.
There
so
it is.
just letting you know.
March
Our pod's going on the
29th,
road.
Caleb Downs, Cardinal
Yeah,
Tight.
we're going.
So that's gonna be our big one this year
Yeah.
too, and that's the next one we have up. We are also getting into the basketball world as well.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and so
Expanding. Okay.
very expanding. So right now,
I'm out on that one.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
I'm
I'm
not.
not good
Yeah.
on that.
So right now, and
I
it's
can
funny.
play horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Pig.
So I personally haven't ran a basketball camp yet either. So it's
Okay.
going to be new for me too. But right now, the next one we have for that is April 19th, and we are holding the Braden Smith
Okay.
from Purdue.
Nice.
We are holding his camp, and then we also, it was supposed to be in April, but because they're doing so well, we don't necessarily want it to kind of interfere with March
Right.
Madness.
Yeah.
And so we also have the best basketball player, Trey McKinney from Michigan, and the best girls basketball player in Olivia Wilson
Oh,
at
that's
Michigan.
great.
And so we're doing a dual camp with them, and now that's most likely going to be moved to August.
Yeah.
So then we can kind of get
Yeah.
them through. And the reason why we want to get into basketball is because again we have a whole fall season where nothing's going
Nothing's
on.
happening,
Right.
yeah.
And so that's going to be kind of be turning into again. It's a little sneak peek into what we got,
Yeah.
coming
That's
up
great.
here. And it just like I said, it's exciting, fun times for sure.
So then,
That's super
kind
cool.
of like what she already said, with football and with the upcoming basketball, both boys and girls are invited to.
Yes. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, absolutely. Boys and girls. Like for example, I know you said you saw the girl at the indie camp.
Yeah.
When we did the Arizona Cardinals youth camp this last year, we had I think 35 girls there.
Wow. See, I should have
and-
went.
Yeah.
I should have.
Yeah.
I
And
should have went.
They were because I think so. High school because high school girls flag football is now a sanctioned
yeah,
state.
sanctioned, yeah.
Sanctioned sport in the state. Arizona's had that for like 6 years now, and so like they
got
those
some
girls,
beasts, don't they?
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah. They were. They say girls develop fast. I could tell
Yeah.
because a lot of them were a lot better than a lot of the boys.
Yeah.
And so
That's so cool, though.
So cool.
absolutely.
She-
Do you
yeah.
see this expanding? Obviously, you already stated that you're going into basketball. Do you see it expanding into like soccer?
Yeah, I mean, I would say nothing's off the table, I would say. I do think that it might be a little bit more down the road, you know?
Yeah, right.
Just because, again, football, at the end of the day, football is always going to be our forte. It's
Yeah.
always going to be our number one. But we also very much care about putting out a quality product, too. You know, we don't want just, just... Because at the end of the day, I'll give you an example here. When I was a kid, at the same age we're doing these camps, I went to the Marlon Jackson youth camp. Before he played for the Colts, he's had the game-winning interception to win the Super Bowl in 2006. I went to his youth camp. I couldn't tell you one thing I did at that camp. Could not tell you at all. But I can tell you, I remember meeting him. I remember how I felt. I remember being starstruck, that this, especially him specifically, And so we want to just give the experience to not only the players but to their families as well, an unforgettable experience. And if we can't necessarily do that, we're not going to do it, and so I think that, but we also, they do want to still get better though, so we want to kind of combine those two, experience and skill level, and we'll see in the future if that goes to other sports.
I thought it was really cool because, like, being in the practice facility, it's indoors, but like the fact that parents had the option if they wanted to be like sideline with their kid in there all
I'd be
day
there.
and watching. But I was also kind of worried. I was like, oh man, these parents have paid a lot to be here. Like, what if they're like, this girl's not agility enough for the agility station, right? But like, they were all so respectful, and it wasn't like your typical youth camp where the parents are the coaches still, and there's all the things. I felt like it was more elevated because it was in an elevated space.
Yeah.
That they were taking it more seriously, more,
Like they're in the hands of
professionals.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's leave them.
And like, yeah, I mean, I've never played actual football in my whole life because girls weren't allowed to do that in school. But like flag football at the YMCA was my jam. Yeah. like I loved it so much. So being able to kind of like get an itch for me that I was not able to have as a younger adult, where like, that wasn't a availability for me in high school. It was really cool. It was cool to see all around.
Absolutely. And I would say, like, and just kind of piggyback off that, we had sometimes, the females are the best that can coach it. Because, like, for example, we had at the Atlanta Falcons youth camp, we had a girl rugby Olympian coaching tackling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, like,
Yes.
it's like I think she said she played for the Philippines, I think.
Then 100%.
Like, and so I was just like, there's no better person to teach this, And so, like, so like I said, we'll take everyone as much, and we'll put you somewhere, and we'll use your skill set however we can.
Yeah.
Can you go through the process of how somebody would, if they're watching this or hearing this and they're interested in signing their kid up, can you tell us how they would go and do that? And then
Absolutely.
Can you maybe tell us price so people are aware?
Sure. Yeah, so you can go to gamedayouthcamps.com.
I'll put it here.
GameDayYouthCamps.com. We have all of our camps on there, upcoming camps. As soon as we do get contracts signed, pen to paper, we put out the marketing and the camps on there, so you can register as soon as you can. The price depends on what package you want. So usually if you just want a base package, whereas basically you get the t-shirt, you get the camp entry, you get the camp, that's usually somewhere, depending on the camp, usually somewhere between $199 and $299. Then you can also get an MVP package, which would include 5 picture action shots of your kid during the camp. Yeah. You also get an autograph 8x10 of whatever players the camp that we're doing. And then you also get the meet and greet. So that is most of the time usually about $100 more. So if it's $199, that'll be $299. If it's $299, that'll be $399.
Yeah. Very reasonable.
Correct. And then we do very rarely, but some camps we have an extra MVP package where you also might get a stadium tour, or you might also get
behind the scenes or something.
Yeah, behind this, like some type of aspect of that. And then that is again usually about $100 after the MVP. So they're not like crazy difference of what you get. The higher package you do get, obviously the lot better perks you're gonna get.
And I'll attest to the photography. Growing up in sports, you get action shots all the time of Little League, and they're like, because they're kids, This photographer, he was like body laying under kids as they were running and like running with the kids. So I could imagine what some of those parents got those when they were like, "Oh my god, give me a rookie card right now."
Yes. So Scott is awesome. He's also decently. He's more so Indianapolis, and he is a photographer, and it's out of Avon. I
Okay.
believe. Yes, is where he does all of our Indiana camps that we do.
Yeah.
And he'll be in Columbus actually as well, but he does an awesome job.
Yeah, he was
does
super
an
cool. He
amazing,
was a cool
awesome
guy.
job.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for telling us any information about this. I mean, it's super exciting.
Yeah.
So we always end our episode with a confession.
As you know.
As I know.
Yeah.
As I know.
Do you have a confession you would like to share? It
You
could be
know,
any kind of confession.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking about this driving over here because I have no idea.
pressure.
Yeah.
I really have no idea what to say.
It's really hard.
I know.
Can you guys give your confessions first?
Oh,
I didn't have one for today.
Yeah.
I mean, I already told you guys how I literally left everything.
Oh, I
today.
can tell you about my
Yeah.
confession that literally just happened the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Why I'm sitting so
Oh,
postured
rigidly.
up.
Yeah.
So a couple of days ago, I was showing a house, and I had socks on because obviously we took our shoes off. The stairs are
Very
carpeted.
respectful.
And I went down the whole flight of stairs on my butt. Boom, 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 boom. Injured my tailbone very badly. Very badly. It is very painful. So,
I got a text saying, I think I broke my ass.
Yes, indeed. So my kids, literally, when we went and picked up my youngest, my two older kids walked in to daycare and went, "Mommy broke her butt." I was like, "Oh,
Thank you.
So,
Love that for
yeah.
me.
So that
Appreciate
was
you.
my
Oh,
confession.
fun,
I have
fun.
never stooped that low, and even in my entire life, I have never fallen down and flight of stairs. And it wasn't. So when I went to the doctor, they were like, "How many stairs did you fall?" I was like,
Oh.
all except for maybe 2. I'm all of them. So there was
That
mine.
makes my tailbone hurt. Just, like,
It hurts so bad.
Because you know when you hit your tailbone even a little bit wonky, you're like your soul leaves your body for a second, and like everything's like. And
So I have hurt my tailbone once before, and it has never felt as bad as this feels. Like, literally, my doctor, because of my bruise and because of how tender it is, he was like, "You probably broke it. You need to go get x-rays."
you literally broke your ass.
Yeah,
Did you
so I
get
had to go get x-rays. Yeah, it's not broken. It's fine.
do you get it?
But
Can I ask how to take an X-ray of your butt?
They lay on the table.
Like, do you lay on your belly and you just?
I could not lay on I can't lay on my back.
That's why I'm like,
Did they-
is
so
it
they
from
had
the
me-
side?
Yeah.
Like, is it like?
They had me stand, and like their picture thing was here, and then like a white
Oh.
background thing was
okay.
here. So they had me stand because I could not
There's no way.
lay down. I'm not a crier, and
That was rough.
I started crying right in the middle of the X-ray room. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
All right, sir.
there's.
I don't have one.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I thought of one. It's actually happened pretty recently. I had my first, I guess, blackout thing happen a couple days ago.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it wasn't really anything crazy. Me and my fiance, we just went out to Manny's, where the garage
Yeah, we haven't been
Yeah, we haven't been
bar
there. We've
used
been
to
talking
be.
about it though.
Very good.
Better than
talked
the
about it
other
for
bar
White
that
Oh,
was
100%.
there.
100%.
Okay.
Here's it. The arcade bar was a really great idea.
But
They did
not
execute
executed.
it
No,
well at all.
agree.
Way
Like,
too small. in there
way
for
too
that.
small. The
Some
games,
of those arcades were actually my grandparents.
Oh, really?
Really?
They bought them from them.
Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
Yeah, I think the games were really cool, but I think one they could have had a little maybe some PlayStations or maybe
Yes.
add that
Yes.
to it as well.
Yeah.
And the big part with me is the drinks were awful.
Yeah.
I only went to like
I-
one.
I literally
Literally.
went there twice, and I was like,
No, I went there
Yeah.
I
once.
don't know if I'll go back.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
I took a drink of it and I was like, no. Like it literally came back out of my mouth into the cup and I was like, no. And she's like, no, it's really good. And I was like, I'm a bartender. No. Like I'm not
Yeah.
drinking this. And I was like, I'll pay for it. I will pay for it because I spit it back in there. Can I just have high noon or something? Like, oh, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I've been
you
to
know.
the arcade bars in Chicago. Those things.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh,
Very
yes.
So,
Yes.
that's why when that
Amazing.
one had opened, I was so excited. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. And I was like,
So-
it's a little different.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it because it's South Bend.
Yeah.
So Manny's is good.
Yes,
We should
Manny's is
try
very
it.
good.
We
Yeah,
should
super
try
cool
it.
sports bar. Obviously had pool table.
Going.
The food, amazing.
Okay.
It's like your bar food, your wings, your burgers, your all that, but like but like good.
But like
ones,
elevated bar food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and so, but yeah, I had old fashioned there. That's what I get everywhere I go. I love
literally,
it, old fashioned. And so I had a couple of those.
Such a deep drink.
And, you know, we get home and, you know, we're taking, let's say, more shots and let's do this, you know. Basically ended with me laying on my bed, and I don't necessarily remember how I got there, but laying on my bed sideways where my head was where my feet was. My feet was off the bed, and I somehow had a bowl with a bag on my lap. And I don't know, I guess my fiance did it for me. But I woke up like 3 in the morning. And I like shot up, the bowl fell, woke her up. I'm just like,
God.
what's going on? Yeah, you know, and so, yeah, that was the first time that's ever happened.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Feel that. That's nice.
Yep.
Awesome. Good time.
Yeah, fun times. Very fun times.
Did it feel the same waking up the next day being the age you are now?
You know, I was a little, head was pounding a little bit, a lot more than what I'm used to. Let's say that. I'm not, for sure, getting to that point where I'm like, I need a little more water throughout the night. I need a little more, because I was before, I mean, again.
Self-care.
Self-care, because, I mean, I don't think I had a hangover until at least I was like 25, 26.
See,
you know?
we talk about this every time. I've never had a hangover, like, ever. And even after my birthday recently, I should have had a hangover, but you know how everyone has like their drunk persona, like your whole personality? Mine's obsessed with water. Like that was the first thing. That was the first question I asked her. I was like,
she
water.
just looked at me, and I was like, water? And she's like, I think that's a good idea. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, right. So I'm not looking forward to the day that I wake up and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
There it is.
Mine has
This
been
is
like
what that feels like. Great,
I don't
done.
get them that often. Still,
Me neither.
I don't like alcohol
40,
enough to
still don't.
deal with it.
The one time though, I had
Ashley said,
this. This was like, I don't know, in 2018.
this is your confession.
Yeah, I'm gonna just, why not? It's not even that bad, but it was like we had a Halloween party, and there was a lot of people, and we've had parties previous to this at our old house, never had a huge problem, but our other parties I was drinking Miller Lite all night. That's all I drank.
Okay.
And I drink a lot at parties because I just...
Yeah, because you're at a party.
That evening, I had a lot of White Claws.
Oh, yeah. I have a White Claw story.
Yeah. And the next day, I was just... probably at least that whole next day, probably the next day after that, I was just...
You were just done.
Wow.
Yeah.
I laid on the couch, and my husband was like, you look dead.
I feel dead.
He said, your eyes are sunken into your head. I was like...
You're so dehydrated.
My eyes were glassy all day. I was like, this is the worst. I will never drink all those White Claws at a party again. I will stick to Miller Lite.
They go down so
They
smooth.
do.
And that's what it was.
They
Like,
do.
my friend Kayla and I, well, you've met Kayla. She's an agent now in the area. And White Claws had first came out. We were Notre Dame tailgating. So there's that liquor store right there. You grab and then you walk to your... We had finished a 6-pack by the time we got to the Joy Center because they're water and they were new. And we were like, oh, these are great. Let's try this flavor. Let's try... It ended with me overhead squatting her at a tailgate, and I ripped my pants. Like, straight up the entire thing, like, it was like SpongeBob ripped my... Like, oh, it was so bad. I whipped my jacket off so fast. Like, I chucked her off, whipped my jacket off, and, like, put it around, like, sweatshirt style, and I was like, well, we can still tailgate.
It's funny
Front's fine.
It's funny you mentioned SpongeBob because, like, when I was in my hangover, I felt like... Do you know that, like, imagery of SpongeBob out of water, like all
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
He's like,
water.
That's kind of what it was.
I love that because when you said your eyes sunk in, I thought of that and I was like, you dumb millennial. I was like, I'm such a millennial. My God.
I know.
That was good. That was a good confession
I like
session,
it.
honestly. Awesome. Cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, absolutely.
Seriously.
Thank you for having me.
We'll put your information or
All the places.
the camp's information and stuff,
Perfect.
so that if
Yeah.
they can,
Do you still have openings for the next upcoming camp?
We do, yes. There's still openings. I believe we right now are at 220 kids, I want to say. So, yeah, and I think we have enough room to at least hit 350. So we have plenty of room. So
Yeah, so sign them
Sign
up.
on up.
Yep, sign
on
up.
up. Yep.
Awesome.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in our next episode. Bye.